Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Emergence Day Split 2 Playoffs Grand Finals. Finally time to crown a champion. And I think we got two of the best teams to play against each other, literally number 1 and number 2 in the Gears Pro League standings. I'm Taylor Reflections, double joined by Colin and Crow Clark and Jacob MVPR. Colin, this is a match that is really to decide it all, right? Winter Major could very well be these two varied teams in Grand Finals.
This is a preview of all previews. If I've ever seen a matchup be on my screen that screamed, you about to see this thing in a grand finals, this one is it right here, right now. I mean, these two teams are poised atop of the mountain. They are looking down at everybody else. The only thing separating them is the Knights have the head-to-head over them right now.
It's true. It's true. The Knights do have the head-to-head, but not in EDAYS, Jacob. This has been the grand finals at least 4 times. This is technically week number 5, right? We have 4 weeks where it's all about accumulating those points, and then we have the finals, and it does turn on, Jacob. I'm actually amazed by that.
I cannot believe it. That
It's
laptop,
got a Gears background, though.
that laptop survives longer than cockroaches, bro.
Longer than cockroaches, bro.
World Wars, you got nukes hitting off. Cockroaches still around, just like that laptop, and that's something to say. But going into this match, you know, you kind of exactly said it. The head-to-head, that goes to the Knights. But that happened so early on in the season before eUnited was able to catch fire, before they were able to build the momentum.
So you say they're different?
100% they different. They built different. They're like the $1 million man, but in their eyes, they're the $6 million men.
Ah, the $6 million men. Okay, interesting. Who's getting the most money though? Because there's only 4.
Powerz. What? You got the
max
contract, bro. What the heck?
I'm sorry. Did you forget Steven Seagal has literally been killing everyone this split? Everyone.
So he's getting $2 million. The rest are just getting $1 million. I'm fine with that.
He's getting 3. The rest are splitting over whatever he gives them.
Jeez.
I'm about to say
that's a max contract.
Like if I'm whoever is in charge of that team, like general manager, even if it's like Burns himself, whoever's in charge of that team, like you making sure Powerz eats. Like that boy not going hungry for as long as that boy don't want to go hungry.
Fair enough. So he's getting the bulk of them. You know what? I'm okay with that. Hey, if I could ride on his coattails to a champion, which I want to make it very clear, no one on eUnited is riding his coattails. eUnited is
Taylor says everyone is worse than Powerz on eUnited. Like,
I'm not saying that. No.
Yeah, without Powerz, eUnited. That's what Reflections
I've already had eUnited hate me at one point. All right,
so
I do not want eUnited to hate me again.
Split.
I did not mean it like that, boys. Do not spin that narrative, please.
Breaking news, Taylor says Demise sucks. What are you doing? What is happening, Taylor?
Gosh, she's so bad. I'm not saying that, man. I'm just saying, me personally, Taylor Reflections Noble, if I could ride on a coattail of Powerz and he could bring me a championship, if he wants to throw me $500 into $6 million, I'd still be happy with that. I'll be $500 richer, right? I know.
No, is that the next challenge, Jacob? Taylor and Powerz versus us? Is that the next challenge? Like, Is he able to? Would Powerz be able to beat us in a 2v1 every time?
No, and I'm going to tell you why. No, I'm going to tell you why. Because did I already tell you? I have already dominated Brock Lesnar. I'm here to fight. You think if I could take on Brock Lesnar, Steven Seagal is going to stand a chance? He's a movie star. Brock Lesnar's a fighter.
Don't tell Steven Seagal
I am a fighter.
You guys give me Powerz. We're decimating to both of you. Like, I'm not even getting a kill. I want to be very clear on. I'm not even overhyping me, bro, because I can't. I'm trash. But Powerz would 1v2 you 100%. Let's look at a match real quick because we are loading into grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. We have Regency as map number 1, Ephyra map 2, TG Ritual, and then Checkout. Got to be honest with you guys. I think both teams get a big bit of a W, right, on certain maps.
100%. I think either on all the maps, because you've seen what the Knights have been able to do on Ephyra, what they've been able to do on Execution, but the same could be said about eUnited. Control, Regency. I feel like both of these maps, and it might be dumb to say, Suit and Fate fit both of these teams to perfection. The only thing I think kind of fits and might be a pro and a con is the Knights, they were tested in their earlier matchups. eUnited was not. But that can also be the bad thing because, yeah, they could be warmed up, they could be ready to go, but they could also run out of gas.
Well, Jacob, one way or the other, we're going to find out who takes the early advantage in this situation as eUnited pushes in against the Pittsburgh Knights. One down already coming through for the Knights. Now a second. They're going to get that first kill. Things are going to boil down to who can get the overwhelming majority of these kills at the Rose Garden and early on. It's all up to Powerz to get anything he can. He's going to try to get one. He's going to go for that quick snap and shot there in the middle. Won't be able to get any of them. We'll see TJ off the respawn. He's going to rotate up toward that M-bar. And a decent amount of time was killed off of this hill due to the neutralizations of both teams. But, I mean, the Pittsburgh Knights, they've got 45 seconds just waiting to take up as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, you said 30 seconds already off the clock. More to go. TJ collecting all of these weapons, but a well-placed shock grenade is going to deny entry. Hopefully he can get that one deep enough to allow his teammate to push up, and it does, and he even connects with that one onto Fearzly, making it that much easier for them to get the scrap time remaining in the hill. But Raver finds one, gets connected on with the M-bar, so it's not going to be an easy, smooth sailing ride to try to contest this hill as Dyslexic continues to rack up the scoreline. eUnited does not rotate on over. They want to solidify this time on the hill and make a team push across the map.
Looking at, they're going to have 3 players up into that home hill area, but it looks like TJ's going to find Dezonide, take out him, and the other 2 players, the Pittsburgh Knights, are going to rotate into that spawn. Missed shot by TJ on the first player. Looking for this second angle here onto Fearzly. They're actually going to push 4 people out here. Try to get these 2 kills, try to make it a 4v2. Going back into the point, Monkyz Lancer out is going to have a ton of damage out, but not enough to get any kills. Leading him to bleed. Dezonide rotating back into the middle of the map. Rotating off of the hill as well would be Raver. And TJ, he has 2 shots left. I like the trigger discipline by TJ, saving those shots for those 2 players inside, saving his last shot off the M-bar for a possible defensive stand here as all the players from the Pittsburgh Knights are back into the area. TJ is going to bounce out the back window. They're going to wait for the smokes and the flashes to come rolling in. There's 1, there's 2. Frag grenade out, will land just in front of these players, gets 1 on Monkyz. Now TJ, last shot out of the M-bar, looking to try to push up, sees that player take the cubby, picture perfect shot. Raver goes down in a defensive stand by eUnited. Will get them more points in this situation. Down at the bottom of your screen on the stat board. Dezonide with 4 assists. Monkyz with no assists and no kills. Only damage thus far in this map, number 1. But it's still way too early to say anything negative about how great they are. Speaking of which, Monkyz finds his first kill. He said, thank you, Demise.
An M-bar shot left. TJ, like you said, trigger discipline, holding on to as long as possible. For moments like that, taking out Raver. I do believe that was the M-bar player as well, so that's going to be a big elimination. It's very, very fruitful on the side of eUnited, and they're chaining that together with another one onto Monkyz and another one onto Fearzly. This is looking like danger signs all around as Dezonide being forced back towards the hill. No position able to be gathered by the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. In fact, the whole defense is spread so thin, eUnited should be able to make quick work of this and get control over the hill.
Dyslexic looking to get that last angle out. We're going to find a kill at the last few moments there in the middle by TJ, and you're going to see the nades picked up in the middle of the map. You got the new. Oh, they got the new M-bar?
Yeah, he killed Raver with it and picked it up.
Yeah. Oh, that's a flash. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're going to pressure him. Yo, he's running. He's like, yo, Demise, help me out, brother. Remember, he's like hive up, hive season right now as he runs at him.
Ooh, another body shot. Just as good because that's slowing down these players one after the next. Raver's going to drop Fearzly as well. Because of those body shots with the M-bar, they didn't get the help that they needed. And now Monkyz is basically dead to rights, trying to buy some time. They're not going to get that spawn because of eUnited going deep into it to try to get this elimination onto Monkyz, which they will find and begin to disperse outward. 25 seconds left. They're going to accumulate that time or as much of it as they so please while simultaneously taking the northern portion of the map.
I love this here, the situation from eUnited going up to point number 3, trying to find this next angle as they see the Knights, and they call them out across the middle of the map. They're trying to put themselves in the best position to stop the next push-in from the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. Dyslexic's going to get called out. I like this from the Knights. They called Dyslexic out in the open, and they're going to 3v1 him. And you see Demise trying to fly and trying to get a help there, but we saw this situation a couple hills ago. But TJ with another kill. There's not going to be a 4v2. That's only going to be a 3v2. And they're going to get the respawn. Powerz found Raver. Yo, eUnited is on a different planet.
I can watch Star Wars and lasers just going back and forth, left and right. Very few shots being missed right now between Powerz and TJ. That puts them over 100 points ahead of the game right now, but there always comes a moment in time where everybody is able to get that elimination on the side of the Pittsburgh Knight. Fearzly, Monkyz, Raver, all sharing in the joy. 50 seconds. They're just trying to disperse outward, Colin, not to go towards this next hill, but to try to cover as much ground as possible. Get the information of the respawn players of United, so that way they know exactly where to focus their efforts. But it does look like a split spawn is going to come through. eUnited getting lancered from the angles from Dezonide, lancered from the top of the steps as well. And once again, Pittsburgh Knights forcing eUnited to make a split play.
Monkyz gonna get that shot over the top. Now Dyslexic goes down. Team fire of Bode, and they're gonna get all the double shots they need. Monkyz has to protect against the backside of the T. Demise with the L trigger gets one down. Now it's up to Fearzly. Playing to the backside. He's gonna get shot in the front. Now the back A from TJ, too strong. Bouncing around. He has to reload. He actually misses that reload. Has to buy himself some time. Probably calls it out to Powerz. Powerz continuing to chase out. Gets the down, and now might be able to clean up that kill. 15 seconds left. eUnited looking to take over the top spawn here of this position. Fearzly has a flank onto Powerz. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy on that kill, and I really love that weapon skin setup on Fearzly, by the way. The Syndrome Lancer with the Knight's Snasher. Ooh, that's just pretty.
And TJ does not want to go down. He says, yo, y'all saying too much about Powerz. It's my time to get the shine. Another 1v2, but he gets taken down, but it's the time he's buying his team. Unfortunately enough, two different solo plays that go down. TJ on one side of the map, Demise on the other. Dyslexic and Powerz, they're just trying to collect these weapons, get in position, go ahead and wait that time, that few couple seconds that the Knights are able to gain on the scoreline, just so they can make a cohesive effort on this next team push.
See what Dyslexic does here is he has to wait his turn. He has to basically wait for the call out. You're going to see in the middle of the map, Demise is going to go down to Raver. And now they're going to move TJ into that middle section. Fearzly will go back toward the top side of the map. They're going to have to probably D up here. 3 players from eUnited might push into this hill, and this might be kind of a free push for them. They've got a decent lead here, and the longer they're alive, they can just start rotating into next and maybe to that top left or that top left-hand side of your mini-map just to try to make life harder as they come into the next hill. You're going to see 20 seconds left, and the Knights are going to start pushing out. They're going to try to get this kill secured on Powerz because he has the M-bar. They do indeed get that kill. They get a whole set of them as well, and they're going to push out toward that next hill.
Dyslexic was the only one left alive, and he's going to be the tip of the spear, trying to go and gain some positional on this map while his teammates are fresh off the respawn. Powerz gets spotted out, though. Lancered up to make Raver's job that much easier. Waiting for the information, the call out of 3 players towards the backside. As soon as it comes in, you see Raver immediately focus on with that Lancer, and he's trying to keep his distance while putting out that shotgun damage, as he knows there's going to come a point in time where these players can blindly push, so he has to be ready. And he forces a player to split up. That's Dyslexic and TJ, which forces TJ to go out. Dyslexic able to get one. Short spawn coming in from eUnited, so this battle will continue with fresh recruits off of the respawn, but Fearzly makes the play, getting 2 players down and out. Looking for a third on to Powerz, as Raver's going to be able to clean that one up, as the Knights are going to be able to solidify the majority of this time on the hill, and 60 more seconds to go.
Yeah, incredible job by the Knights. 2 hills back to back. The early rotations and the defensive setup. Picture perfect. You see Fearzly just trying to throw shots out behind him, try to see if he gets an audio cue or an audio marker. I believe Demise is rotating over toward that M-bar. Dezonide will be posted up to the backside of the hill with one teammate with him. Smokes are going to come out trying to blind up the sight lines. Demise still tagged up. Flash will come in. He'll be able to move out of the way of that one. Now it looks like the Knights are going to start pushing into this situation. TJ in a 1v1 here with Raver. He's going to get shot on, though, from that big window. It's going to open up a little bit of a push through the middle. Dyslexic trying to roadie run back out into the outside. Shot onto Raver, but it looks like Powerz and Demise still last alive in the hill. They get a few moments, but nothing of great value. Rose Garden Hill will be the next. 6 shots on a brand new M-bar will be going over to the side of the Knights, and it looks like eUnited, they've decided to stack up here and just try to take over that next point.
I'd say for them to be able to take out Powerz without going down is going to be huge. They get that fresh respawn M-bar, and honestly, even if they're able to push up, getting TJ to use the shock grenade is going to be a success in its own mind. There out goes the shock, but Dezonide connects regardless, but he's unable to make that saving revive onto Raver, but back-to-back connection, that's one way to make up for it, and he sets his eyes on the third, misses that shot onto Powerz, but he definitely cements himself towards that back Rose Garden where he has all the positioning in the world. Reinforcements are on the way in the form of Monkyz and Raver directly on this Rose Garden hill as they're battling back, trying to stay outside smoke range, and Dezonide, peekaboo, taking out Demise, but Powerz and TJ have something to say about it. Pairing together 2, make it 3 as they get that hat trick between the 2 of them, and make it 4 as TJ gets that down and out, a full-on squad wipe, which is going to allow eUnited to set up on this hill and get the lion's share.
Looking like the Knights are going to push back into the situation from the correct side for that P2, that top right-hand side of the map. You're going to see here, Dyslexic will push up. He's going to have frag grenades out. He's going to throw 1 here to the side, 1 to the left as well. He's going to have at least 2 players trapped in an area. A lot of downs and damage coming through for the side of eUnited. And with 28 seconds to go, I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to pressure out this position, try to get downs, try to maybe even get some cleanup kills. Big shot there on the Dezonide. Won't be able to get the cleanup either way. Looks like the Knights have also respawned over here. So you see the pressure from eUnited. It all goes to the wayside if somebody were to die here in this situation, and not sure if they're going to be able to continue to push as they keep getting downed out. They've left the hill officially, less than 10 seconds to go. Monkyz is down. Demise gets 2, Powerz gets a second. Now a third, Fearzly in the way. Going to get back-gate out by Powerz, and they have control over the spawn, the point, and it looks like there's going to be a 1v1 Dyslexic going to try to fight over this M-bar. Lancer fire from 2 players for the Knights gets the quick down, the out, and the new M-bar in the hands of Raver. They're going to have the power weapon. Try to go for the retake, Jacob.
I don't doubt Raver at all. He's a phenomenal player with the M-bar, but I'd love to see him go in with a shotgun. But who needs a shotgun when you do have that M-bar regardless? Connects with that first one. Open up that window of opportunity. Demise goes down, but so does TJ. That first elimination alleviated the pressure, but Raver goes down to Powerz, makes the play, because that's a big, not only taking out the powerhouse of Raver, you're taking out the M-bar. Demise with the 180, turns and burns, taking out Monkyz, and he got the down on the Fearzly. So that's basically a double kill with 50 seconds left to go. eUnited cannot win off of this hill, but they can get so close they can taste it.
Incredible stand there by eUnited thus far. 30 seconds left on this hill. Every single point matters for the side of the Knights at this point. Demise is going to get flashed out and going to get chased down by Monkyz. Monkyz with the kill. Lancer fire trying to get downs inside of the hill. Dyslexic on a flank now, worried about getting pushed by Monkyz. Tries to go for a little back A there, won't be able to capture it, but you see 19 seconds left on the hill. Monkyz has to push in here. Powerz in a 1v again wins it for his squadron. And with 15 seconds to go, you're looking at a 270 or 284 if they stay there in the entire time. Powerz, he's leaving the hill. They don't want to continue to give up points over to the side of the Knights in any way, shape, form, or fashion. New fragmentation grenades picked up into the hands, one and only. They will be able to come back into this next fight with all the utility grenades as well, as they have the shock in hand now.
Well played shot. Gonna funnel them to one side. That's gonna make these frag grenades that's much more lethal. Unfortunately, he cannot connect. They try to break free. Second frag grenade going out, but just a little too late, allowing these players to disperse. But he connects with one onto Fearzly regardless. Great play by Demise. Powerz, though, he's trying to sneak up behind a couple players, but he gets caught out, spotted out as well. Dyslexic is doing what he can. That's going to be a trade. Dezonide for Powerz, which almost gives up the positioning to eUnited, because as soon as those pistol fire comes in, Dyslexic sees it as a green light, and he goes back-to-back eliminations as Monkyz goes down as well. 20 seconds left to go with 45 on the hill. eUnited could take map number 1.
eUnited looking to try to knot this up, try to get this a bow onto it. 18 seconds to go. Down onto Fearzly. You're going to see multiple players trying to push in from different areas. 3 players from the Knights are going to be pushing straight down that stairwell. They're going to have the angle. TJ full red, trying to bounce around for as long as he can. Powerz not pushing up. He gets it down onto Monkyz, but won't be able to get that kill. All the time left on this hill, in my opinion, is pretty much useless to eUnited. If I'm eUnited, I go straight for that next hill. Try to mount up an offense against Fearzly. Don't allow him to get that M-bar out. You see Dyslexic gets that first down. The kill as well. Monkyz is there. Brody strafe is incredible, but won't be able to get the secondary down. 3v3 on the map right now, and it looks like the Knights have left that last hill. No, they push back in with Dezonide because it looks like Powerz was maybe trying to sneak in and get a few more seconds on it.
Yeah, they're taking too long for my liking, but obviously the Pittsburgh Knights have a plan set in store. Demise is back there by himself for so long. The only help they have is TJ, who's trying to rotate on over. Monkyz goes down for that quick second, but the battle is going to continue. Fearzly trying to watch everybody's back, but TJ stays alive just long enough to get one, but that is where it's going to end. He's only able to get one, but 2 kills are eliminated overall. Fearzly goes down. Dyslexic is there just in the nick of time to make this teeter in favor of eUnited, and the powerhouse is Dyslexic and Powerz left alive to sandwich one, but a double, a triple style battle going down where neither team wanted to give up an inch because they realized how close eUnited is to victory.
14 seconds to go. Somebody from the Knights has to continue to kind of tip their toe into it, toe tap into the hill, go for neutralizations. Dyslexic has the 90 degree. All this damage is crucial because these extra downs are making life almost impossible for the Knights to try to push back into the hill. There's 2, 3, and 4. They don't need any more. 5 seconds left, and that's going to be all she said and done. eUnited win map 1. They take a 1-map lead here in our grand finals, our E-Day playoffs. Taylor Reflections Nobles, my man, I know you were sitting there getting a little concerned, saying no lead is safe on Regency, but no lead is ever safe unless, of course, Powerz is in the house.
Oh yeah, Powerz is there doing his thing. Is he not dyslexic though? Look at his stats, 21 kills to his name, but Powerz with that damage done really does show why, again, he continues to dominate maps. Jacob, there was a moment where Pittsburgh Knights were coming back, and in fact, they looked like they might be able to take over the map, but eUnited was able to shut them down again. But let's at least talk about that comeback from Pittsburgh Knights that looks so good.
It does, and it just kind of shows that the power weapon control was not necessarily the main story of the game, but when you see a lot of these teams go on the run, just like you see in the replays, it's play after play with the N bar, and you saw it in the hands of Raver, and you saw it a couple times from PK on the way of that comeback, but as soon as they lost control of not only the position on the map, but lost control of all the weapons, I think that's where eUnited took that inch and stretched it into a mile.
And they definitely did, but even so, though, with the eUnited all gas, no brakes call, and still, Pittsburgh Knights were able to come back. Where was eUnited slipping? Because this is the moment, right? They were up 162, 163 to about 70, and then we saw it get incredibly close until, obviously, eUnited started to take away again. But where did eUnited start slipping?
I think eUnited's big slip, in my opinion, is right there toward the middle of the map. You saw a couple of times people were getting a little overconfident, where eUnited started kind of leaving one person off to the wings, maybe going for those flanks that came true and came through for the likes of Powerz and TJ in the early goings of the map, but all of a sudden you saw Demise get 3v1 there at the fragmentation grenade spawn, and then of course you saw down at that shock grenade spawn as eUnited tried to early rotate. It was like a 1v2 or a 2v4 situation where the other two players kind of got left to the wayside, and I understand the thought process. eUnited says, look, if we can play a little bit of defense, we can buy time. We don't need to have everybody going after that last hill, that previous hill. But sometimes, especially against the likes of the Knights, that's just too much talent to overcome.
Sure, it definitely can be. I was pumped up for Pittsburgh Knights when they started making that comeback. And, you know, that's the scary thing about them, Jacob, is no matter how far behind they are, they always find a way to make things competitive. You know, you even go back to their Pro League matchup against Team Queso on District when they were down so many points, and then they managed to come back and win in scintillating fashion. But 300-234 isn't a win, is it? No. eUnited actually takes that, and map number 1 is big because Ephyra is coming up next, and Ephyra is the stomping grounds from eUnited. They were one of the first teams to truly implement that map when it was added to the competitive rotation, so you got to think they're going to feel super comfortable here.
Especially you saw them in that earlier series. Powerz uncontested with the torque bow. I will say I don't think the Pittsburgh Knights are going to make that same mistake, letting it go uncontested round after round, but I think it's going to come down to how these players play over the power weapons, which team puts more focus on the torque bow versus the drop shot, and then who actually picks up the weapon and begins to execute with it, because it's not enough just to get control over that weapon. You have to connect with those drop shots, you have to connect with those torque bow shots before it's too late.
And weapons aside, Colin, that hotel fight is going to be interesting. And I say that because we have seen eUnited play against Pittsburgh Knights on Ephyra, specifically in EDAYS. I don't think it was a map that was played in their series very early on. But Monkyz is the guy to watch out for because he truly is a flex player that is instrumental in helping Raver fight it out opposite of probably Dyslexic in the hotel fight, which more often than not ends up in a 2v1 because of Monkyz's ability to just be on the outskirts, get to the window, and then Lancer Dyslexic, or even help for the drop shot. Point that I'm getting at is Dyslexic's going to have some company, but we might also see whoever's fighting for the drop shot have company too. Monkyz is a guy you got to put in check.
I was about to, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to tell you, when you watch this map, take a look at how these teams play this map. eUnited to me they're so incredibly good at the torque and the drop fight, the outside fights, the way that they can get those angles, the way they can maneuver around. The Knights, to me, tonight, and the times I've seen them play this map, and when I've seen them play this map before, they are incredible at getting into the hotel and finding a way into the bottom toward the Torque or out toward that drop shot. It's almost like they've traded off strengths in this map.
Right.
If eUnited wants to find a way to win back-to-back maps, especially against the Knights on Ephyra, they've got to find a way to level out the strength of the Knights inside the hotel. I have seen too many times the Knights control that porch inner hotel, that little pillar you see in the middle that players play around.
Right.
They control that, which gives them an advantage up or down. No matter where they need it, they have that advantage. The thing that the United keeps relying heavily on is that pressure on the outside. They push up onto their opponent. They make somebody make a mistake, and their early picks usually coming on the extreme torque bow or the extreme drop shot. So this matchup to me is who levels out their opponent's advantageous spot better.
So advantageous spots, who's going to level it out? Jacob, you can't really leave hotel fight. You got to at least attempt to try and fight back and push back on Monkyz or Raver, whoever decides to go in there. So what's the game plan for eUnited? How are they going to counteract Pittsburgh Knights' pressure and maybe even put the odds back in their favor?
One of the biggest things that comes to mind is exactly that. They have to use the brain over the brawn in a lot of these situations. You have to be able to push in, act like you're going to get aggressive, like Monkyz does. You kind of pointed out him in that flex position, and be able to abandon that fight and go ahead and help Raver towards that drop shot, or vice versa. Act like you're putting that pressure towards the drop shot, make them and pull them in towards the inside of that fight. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Monkyz is going to be an X factor, combined with the fact that Colin said it, that inside pressure. If you're not able to put that inside pressure, you're not able to get the fakes that I'm looking for. So either one of these teams, it's not just eUnited, they're really going to have to outsmart their opponent instead of just straight brawn.
And Colin, there was a series yesterday, Fury 1 versus Discipline, where we did see Ephyra as map number 2. Fury 1 ended up winning that 6-2 over Discipline, but I've seen them utilize their shocks in the most unique ways. Normally, you just see that used on the drop shot fight. Sometimes it has an effect, sometimes it doesn't, but maybe there's an opportunity to use that shock, not for the drop shot, but play like Fury 1 was. Maybe utilize it on Monkyz. A well-placed shot can keep him away from that window. Keeps it a 1v1 with Dyslexic versus Raver. What do you think about that?
There's a lot of strategies to use. The coach of eUnited, Rubik's, he is extraordinarily brilliant. He's played with multiple. I want you to think about this. Rubik started with a North American team as a coach, then went and coached EU's finest over on the other side of the pond, then came back over on this side of the pond and started coaching this eUnited squad, which has turned into kind of that hybrid squad, even though we associate Demise, TJ, and Powerz with North America. All these players have Latin America descent, and Dyslexic is full-blooded out of there. So he's coached so many different styles. He understands so many different ways to go about taking these fights. I think we will see a couple of tricks out of the bag, but I don't think we might see them tonight. We might see teams take a lot of their strategy and just kind of go with their neutral positions, go with what got them to the dance. Powerz gets you to every dance, and he's the best damn partner you could ask for. Dezonide gets one answer with a torque bow there, but he still drops off. It's still a 3v1, and Fearzly has to try to bait a 1v1 win against TJ because the other two players from eUnited, they're going to be pressuring out here soon. Big L trigger. Second one comes through, but the Lancer and the second shot from Powerz just too much for him to handle. Round one goes over to eUnited.
Now, already, as you can see, Monkyz became an early target. He got first blooded off of that initial by Demise to kind of open up the game, and that's where it all started. We talked about Monkyz being a flex player, a variable, and already eUnited make him a quick target. And the way that they did it, they didn't do any trick strategies. It was as clean as can be in terms of that base. So when it comes down to it, Monkyz and Raver now trying to attack the inside, and they got matched 2v2 towards the inside of the fight as well. Raver versus Dyslexic going towards down low, and Dyslexic gets taken out. Monkyz shares that first blood along with Raver.
Pushing into a situation here. You see TJ trying to worry about Fearzly, but Fearzly waiting it out, being defensive, and we see the complete answer back. Domination by the Knights in that round. They get so many kills quick enough early on that it allows them the up and down the north and south Lancer lanes to get a full four-person sweep and answer back succinctly. Jacob, do you see this still kind of going back and forth for the rest of these rounds, or do you see one team kind of figuring out the other one, really figuring out the mode of transportation across the map and being able to take control of that?
I think it's just a little too early to tell right now. I think they're going to continue to run the base strategies with minor adjustments just like that. They allow them to flood in. They try to get the down, but a double down coming through. Revives from both of these teams, so the battle will continue as they're getting funneled. They're getting trapped down low, but Monkyz gets that first blood, but Dezonide gets taken out. The trades continue, but Monkyz, he gets 2. Powerz trapped down low towards Torquebo by himself. That puts the pressure on TJ to win the drop shot fight, but can he do it in time? Powerz was dropped. TJ wins the elimination and is awarded the drop shot with enough time to not only grab it, Colin, but try to position himself for victory.
Trying to get himself in a spot to be able to fight back TJ versus Monkyz and Raver, and TJ with the drop. Now going for an active. He knows that active is ever important. Shoots one out, gets the kill on it, immediately trying to roll away Raver. Monkyz behind him, though. No torque bow in the hands of Monkyz. It's a standard 1v1 now for Monkyz. He has to win it with Lancer, Nash, or Snub. Unsure if TJ knows where he is, but he's got to know now because he saw him run across the street, skedaddle over to where the drop spawns.
So TJ's goal is to keep distance, whether it's the pistol, back rolling with the shotgun. That way he can utilize that drop shot to perfection. On the side of Monkyz, though, in the Pittsburgh Knights, he needs to figure out a way to close the distance. You close that distance before the pistol shots come in, that just basically nullifies the drop shot of being a possibility. So this team has their goal, their plan set in mind. TJ continuing to try to keep that distance, but Monkyz wasting no time trying to close the gap. Drop shot is now no longer a factor, and Monkyz makes him pay 2 straight rounds for the Knights.
What an answer, really. I love the fact that Monkyz understood his position, understood what he had to do here. We're going to take another look at that first drop shot kill, but now instead of utilizing the drop to the best of his ability, I mean, if you're TJ in that situation, do you ever put yourself on a single cover fight, or do you force Monkyz to make a secondary move at TJ?
To me, it's not about a single cover fight. You got to put yourself in a position to utilize the drop shot. You made that first play to perfection, but then you kind of forget the situation that they're in. Hopefully this round they can kind of wake up, need to sleep out of their eyes and answer back, but no, Demise, he gets taken down. That is going to be first blood, but Powerz does his best to answer back. That's going to be elimination onto Raver. The big powerhouse duo, Dyslexic and Powerz, they survive. They take out Dezonide as well, and they put Monkyz in another 1v2 situation. It doesn't look like Monkyz is going to be able to survive, so the pressure is on Fearzly to come up big. Great shot landed by TJ. 1-2 punch combo to tie this sucker up.
So if Powerz and Dyslexic are the power couple from eUnited, do we do them like people did, you know, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner? Do we call it, instead of like Benifer or something, or like Baffleck or whatever, do we call them like Dispowers? Or
Dispowers?
Powers Lexic?
Dishours?
Power Lexic. Power Lexic.
Power Lexic. I like it. I like it. Work in progress. We'll just stick a pin in it for now.
All right.
I feel like we can't force it. The perfect name will come. I guarantee it.
All right. Well, look, I know Taylor will have some thoughts about that.
Can't wait, but neither can PK to tie this up. They get first blood. Demise tries to even up. Monkyz yet again defining force. Powerz tries to rotate. But he has his own work out for him. 3v2 advantage, and they know how powerful this drop shot is. So Monkyz has his eyes set onto TJ. They waste no time trying to Lancer him out. Powerz knows if he doesn't win this fight, it's all over. And he does get taken down before that third player can even make any noise as the Knights win that round. Back and forth we go, Colin, 3-2.
I love how Powerz, you could see what his thought process was as he rotated outside. It was like he was trying to get to the 6 o'clock of Fearzly, trying to get to that angle where he could Lancer Fearzly out and push him back into TJ, and instead he continued to get damaged out and wasn't able to continue that campaign out there, leaving TJ in a pretty compromised position and then forcing Powerz into a 1v3 situation. 3-2, Knights leading it now. 3 rounds to go for them to try to get a tie ball game here in map count. Flash all the way across to the backside. It looks like eUnited's actually playing defense in this round. Powerz got a free pick there on the torque. Sees the rollout. Will miss that shot onto Dezo. 4v3 or 4v4 still. Nobody getting picked off just yet. Powerz will rotate toward that angle. Gets the pick over the top on the Monkyz, and now Fearzly is marked out on the top side. Powerz shot at the top of that cover. Dezo's going to try to pressure his position here. Shot on from behind. What a shot there! Angles out with the L trigger and gets the full spread. That is the perfect and the only answer they could have for this test. Raver outside has to help his teammates as Dezo's down. It's a 1v3 situation. Bouncing around, finds one. Now in a 2v1. What can he do? It looks like Dyslexic and TJ. I don't believe he has any left. I believe he used both already.
That's very unfortunate because I don't think he got an elimination with both of them. He's going to continuously get spotted out back and forth. Because of the spot he's stuck in, Colin, you know they're using their headsets to try to gather that sound, figure out if he's trying to run away, but he gets aggressive here on the Dyslexic, forcing him back down and controls the high ground. That's not going to matter too much for eUnited because if the overtime hill is on this side of the map, they're in full control and they have that Lancer angle as he Dyslexic is trying to perfect that angle. Back down the player of Raver.
Dyslexic is gonna, Raver's gonna go for this new torque bow. He said to hell with fighting over that new drop shot. If I pick the torque bow, I put you both in a disadvantageous position if I get a chance to get a pick on you as you go into the hill. 15 seconds until the overtime hill will spawn. You can see he picks the torque and they know where he is. The only problem they have to worry about for Raver is he has to kind of come to the far north side of the map. He's going to get called out wherever he rotates to. There's the mark. Pick on the drop is out. And there it is. The active drop shot gets the kill as he comes up to the corner. Even the voice of God could call that one. Beautiful job and another round in the board for eUnited. All tied up, all knotted up 3-3 here.
I wish Raver with the stock weapons, I think Raver would have had a better chance instead of going against that drop shot. Try to catch a player out of position, maybe catch somebody misrolling with a bunch of Lancer and pistol damage, but that's neither here nor there. We had a tie game on map number 2. eUnited, after a couple quick adjustments here, have won the last round almost convincingly. As Raver bouncing around, him and Monkyz are separated for a moment, and both of them get taken down, and Raver's going to fall, and just in the nick of time, though, Monkyz is going to catch the tail end of Dyslexic to get that elimination. Powerz wins the low side of the map, so Monkyz is going to have to reposition. In fact, both players, TJ and Monkyz, are going to have to reposition. Fearzly with that drop shot in hands, Powerz with the torque bow, so they're spreading around the power weapons as well.
Do we know what he just picked up right there, Jacob? It wasn't another utility grenade. He must have just picked up ammunition. Okay, that's what I was trying to look at his. I was trying to look at Monkyz. He didn't pick up a flash because he'd have it back on his little player picture. So he must have just picked up ammo. Fearzly with the active drop. He sees a player and is going for a quick pick there. Maybe a wasted drop. Sees TJ and marks him out all the way across the map. That's going to be hard sail for anybody to come into. Powerz with a shot across the inside of the hotel. Will get tagged up for just a moment. He'll be about 90% or so. He'll get his health right back. Looking for somebody to push up into this window. Revving the torque. Won't be able to find anything just yet. They've sent, I believe, TJ back down to the bottom to angle out Fearzly. If he pushes back into this spot, Fearzly's going to be tagged up. He's going to be just a little red. There's the active. TJ now. Fearzly's going to be made. Oh, it bounced off him and hit Powerz right in the friggin' kneecap. My man can't walk, but he can fly. And now it's Monkyz in a 2v1. Oh my God, I love the thought process, but it just wasn't low enough to snag the ground, Jacob. It was just a little too high and it bounced. Like, did you hear that, Amago? He was like, "Doh."
He didn't say "doh." He just kicked it. He just kicked it straight out. He said, "Get that away from me."
No, that has to hurt your shin. Look at this thing hit your shin. Bam, bam.
You knew that was coming. That was planned. 100% calculated by Powerz. 100% calculated.
You're making me throw the laptop. That's what you're doing right now.
But to me, those are those moments right there. It might be too soon to tell because this is a different look Knights than we've ever seen. But a must-win round, a round that you could have in a bag. You just kind of fumble it. Might get flatlined as Raver gets taken out first blood, and Fearzly again with the drop shot in hands, and trying to force Monkyz back. Dezonide gets that elimination on the Powerz, and certainly should get himself a torque bow as well. But with Fearzly caught out of position by himself with the drop shot, this could be a big elimination. He's trying to survive with every fiber of his being, and he switches to the drop shot. I don't know if Dyslexic knows is there, but that is certainly an eUnited potential grab.
You see Monkyz actually trying to pressure out. He's going to go down. He was trying to stop that pick on the drop. Dezo lets one bolt fly out. 2 left alive. 2 left in his quiver. 3v1. Shot at the top of that. Oh my goodness. TJ must have known. Throws out that active drop and gets yet another round-ending kill. 1 round away, Jacob.
2 straight rounds with the drop shot. Fearzly comes up short. We're gonna need 100 drop shot kills before the next scrim. Hot lobby. Let's roll. That's what Blaze would tell people. I know Blaze, they got so good with snipers because he's one round. He has a certain amount of headshots he must hit before he can go on with the rest of his day.
tell you what, I must have never done that in my life. I couldn't use a long shot of my life depended on it. Somebody held the Lancer to my head, and that's going to be another down and dead inside of the hotel. Powerz in a 1v forever situation in front of him as two players are about to push out. Big first shot on a Monkyz. Raver allowing him to get his health back, playing to the backside of that cover. A second player from eUnited is going to push down. Wrap shot out, gets the first down. Now Powerz turns, tries to, oh, he
hesitated. He hesitated.
Man, if you see the steak, just eat the steak. You ain't got, there's no second decision there. I need to see this. Like, look at my man Powerz. Be like left, right, left. That one, no, that one.
You would have shot that first shot and then tried. Even if you would have tried to up the second shot, I think that would have been great. I think that would have been great for Powerz because you know he don't miss. He only hits full spreads, full bricks to build houses.
Here we go in a round.
Must win round
number 10. Possible final round here for eUnited. Raver hits a big first shot, though. He's full red. Gets shot on by Dyslexic at the bottom side of the stairwell. They get that down. Now Dezo has to worry about 2v1 on this back cover. Hitting the back A. Now tries to roadie straight directly into him. They get it down inside as well. One down on the side of eUnited. Two down. Now three down for the Pittsburgh Knights. One left alive. Stands up and is stout. TJForce with a final kill. They finish off map 2, 6-4. eUnited lead it 2-0. Dyslexic telling him to raise the roof, big man. He said, you think you control the middle hotel fight? No, I control the middle hotel, and I called it, Jacob. If eUnited can level that advantage against Pittsburgh Knights, and all map long, Dyslexic did that. He went into the bottom of that stairwell, got shots onto Raver, got shots onto Monkyz, didn't allow them to take control of that middle hotel, and it kept them on the back foot the entire time. Love that map out of eUnited.
I do too, man, and it just comes to show you how strong they really are on Ephyra because Monkyz stats was incredible, and quite honestly, I think any other team playing against Pittsburgh Knights in this series tonight would have had much or many more struggles against that roster, but eUnited ended up holding their ground. They lead 2-0, and what comes to show me is everybody is relatively close with Pittsburgh Knights, obviously Rise, Rebel, but eUnited continues to showcase that they kind of stand against and above all the other competition. So we might have an outlier team heading into the Winter Major. We'll talk about that in just a little bit more a little bit later. But Pittsburgh Knights, they need to come back. Luckily, they've got two great maps that are about to unfold. Training Grounds as well as Ritual. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Grand Finals will continue. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Grand Finals of Emergence Day Split 2 playoffs. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Colin and Crow Clark, as well as Jacob MVPR. Two maps down, eUnited leads 2-0. Pittsburgh Knights may be dominant around anybody else they play, aside from KCP, obviously, going to map number 5. But eUnited continues to sell every single time they play against them. Colin, eUnited not backing down, and every single time they've met in Grand Finals, 4 times in Emergence Day Split 2, eUnited has always found a way to beat Pittsburgh Knights.
I know what you said just a second ago, but I swear to God, like it sounded like you said that eUnited sells every time they play against the Pittsburgh Knights.
And then I thought about clarifying it, but then I was like, let me just roll with it. I can't wait for this to be a meme later.
They sell L's, bro. They're handing them out.
Sell. Hey, they got wind in their cells. They're selling, bro. You know, they got the Sperry's on. They got the white polo on. They got the, they got the salmon colored shorts. They got the salmon shorts on. Yeah. And they're just they're selling, man. Not selling as in like, giving it up. Hey, but for real though, eUnited continues to win, and Pittsburgh Knights have refused to find an answer. Now, I asked Colin, he didn't really give me an answer. So, Jacob, I'm asking you now, what's going on with Pittsburgh Knights versus EU?
I feel like it's a mental thing. It's been a mental thing for a couple of years now. They're always a few steps away. Look at the scoreline in map number 1. Look at the scoreline in map number 2, specifically map number 2, 6-4. And they were 2 rounds, not 1, but 2 different rounds. Fearzly has a fresh drop shot, and I'll say he choked. He choked. That first drop shot was a clear miss. The second one bounces off of foot. In the very next round, again, similar situation. Drop shot in the hands. He gets taken out. That goes into the hands of eUnited, and they immediately use it to secure a round. That is the difference between losing 6-4 and winning 6-4.
But, Colin, we do have 2 great maps coming up for Pittsburgh Knights. Training Grounds has been one of those maps where PK has shown, you know, great talent on, you know, showing us different looks, which I agree. You said it. I said it last night. They definitely should have saved a couple of those different strategies, especially initials for the major. But alas, we've seen them. I was still pumped up to see them nonetheless. But eUnited also had training grounds a little bit earlier in semifinals against Rebel, and they beat them 5-1. So this is one where I think Pittsburgh Knights has their best chance to at least bring the series 2-1 and then go into their best control map, which is Ritual. But it's going to be tough. Either way you cut it. As I do leave, I want you guys to discuss training grounds. Who do you think has the leg up?
Hey, don't leave me, Taylor. I'm going to tell you right now. I think the Knights still get a bit of a leg up as I really do believe that Powerz is just on a different planet right now. He's in a whole different solar system from most of his competition. On the opposite end of that spectrum, though, Monkyz is trying to find a way to be in outer space against that man. Like, he is trying to find that angle. But look at TJ. TJ knows that the Knights might be trying to pull out one of those sneak strats, one of those long rotations, and he comes straight across the U, flies into his opponents, and now Monkyz is going to get called out here in the middle of the map and get taken down and out, giving a big advantage over to eUnited early in this one. You can see the Knights already rotating over to B. They're going to try to take their numbers advantage here and try to force Demise to go down and out. It'll be up to Powerz in a 1v3 if they want to get a round 1 domination. He's going to have to come away with 3 big kills. Gets 1 down. Let's go. Hey, my man. Hey, my man. Yo, that ponytail too big for everybody right now, Taylor. Just too... Yo!
What are you freaking out about, man? What are you talking about ponytails for?
Powerz has got
Jacob, what's he talking about?
It doesn't matter what he's talking about. I'm gonna talk. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because I feel like this is the same old song and dance. This is the same old song and dance. When you have a chance to step up to the plate and hit a home run like Fearzly did, they come up short. They lose that map, and now they're just stopping. They're just coming up short yet again. And that's the thing about these teams. It's not the skill in terms of the game. It's not the mechanics. It's not even necessarily strategy. It's the mental toughness that they need to start practicing.
It's actually a good talking point, Colin. Mental toughness, and it's something I wanted to bring up in the talk before moving into training grounds. You know, there was once upon a time when KCP still had precision, and they would play against Rise, and Rise could, you know, again, dominate everybody. That's no secret, you know. They could dominate everybody, but then Rise would get beat by KCP, and it would be pretty ugly. Obviously, that changed once we saw Bronny in that 3-0 during Pro League, but, you know, Pittsburgh Knights, you think there's a mental blocker now for them whenever they play against EU?
There can't be. The Knights have to just start figuring out what it is that they do differently against the eUnited. I mean, you see right here, they've dominated the initial here. The Knights have a 2-1 hill advantage. They're going to force eUnited to fight back against the tide. eUnited's going to have a perfect retake, which is extraordinarily hard on training grounds. It's one of the harder maps to get across the map on, not only because of the open sight lanes, but because of all those tight corridors you have to rotate through very quickly. TJ and Powerz inside of this right corner, going for the back end. They're going to be a trade out right there, 3v3 onto the map. Demise is not going to be able to get back in time for the revive, and those are the things that can win you rounds on training grounds. And you're going to see what the Knights are doing much better in this round is fighting closer together. For some reason, the Knights forget how good their teamwork is a lot of times against eUnited. We saw it earlier tonight against the Pioneers. They were like, yeah, we can muscle out the Pioneers. And then the Pioneers take them to a map 5, and they're like, all right, let's stop doing the whole muscle thing and just beat them as a unit again. Let's play as a team again. And in Gears 5, you've heard Jacob say it. You've heard me say it. Like, if you don't get it by now, you ain't never going to get it. The better team, the better teamwork is going to win you more games more often than not. Hold on, I get Kenny Erodi.
I'm scared. I already know who you could pick last. Can I pick him for you? You'll love it. Guaranteed. Franchise.
Oh my God! Yo,
I told you you love it. I told you.
I forget that franchise is retired because in my heart,
he's here every day.
Still winning championships.
Why is nobody picking Ribs though?
I love Ribs, but I'm not undefeated on land with Ribs. I am with franchise.
Okay. All right, boys. Well, hey, here we go.
Rowdy and Fran are undefeated on land. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, I never lost a talent match in my life. All I'm saying is, you know, shout out to Lux. She has my back. That's 100% true. I've never lost a talent match in my life.
All right, it's time to set something up. The production, it's time to set something up. All right, and we I don't know if we're setting Jacob up for failure or not, but we need to change this. We got to knock him down a couple of pegs, man, because Jacob's always talking about filling in for EDAYS, filling in for Pro League. Now it's time to put his money where his mouth is.
Yo, God made me short because he knows I aim big. Just like Fearzly and the rest of PK, aiming big, taking out the powerhouse of Powerz to try to lead the charge across. And this is where Dezonide, he can't get antsy by himself. There's no weapon up here. There's no hill up there. He has to wait for his amigos to come by so he can get the necessary help.
Up top, TJ's going to have to worry about the flank from down low as well, as he's going to get pushed out and bullied out at the top of the overlook. 2-to-1 hill advantage going over to the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. Flash will come out. Powerz is having to worry about 2 players pushing him and 1 player just watching for him to push out on one side or the other, go for the body shot with a long shot. They're going to go in for the triple cap domination at this point. Team revives are there for eUnited, but I mean, there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. That's just overwhelming in that situation. That is a 2-1 round count in favor of the Pittsburgh Knights.
That's actually surprising because this is where, like I said, with opportunities like Fearzly had, this is maybe a different version of the Pittsburgh Knights that we've been talking about all season long. Maybe they have been working on their mental toughness, being able to bounce back. And I'm not going to say they put themselves in a 2-0 map hole by any means, because that was just pure eUnited domination. But this is definitely that mental practice, being able to climb out of the hole. And even if they don't find themselves successful today, they lose overall in the EDAYS, how they answer back and continue the journey from this point forward is crucial for success leading up to that major.
Dezo's going to jump straight over into the B hill, going to try to go for this early cap. He's going to see that Demise has gone out to the backside. There's not going to be a lot of damage going on there. 2v2 in the middle of the map, 1v1 down at the U. Trade out at B. That will stay neutralized. That really does put every team kind of in the neutral position, except for the fact that kills are starting to come through in multiple situations across the map. Powerz is going to try to get out here with the long shot in hand. Raver will push over to the C hill. He's going to try to go for the home-to-home stretch, while 2 players might push on over to B, try to give themselves an advantage. It looks like Powerz is going to get the call out that he needs to get some help here at B, as 1 player is going to push up the back lane toward TJ. They win the fight at the home hill, 2-to-1 hill advantage. There's a good body shot on a Fearzly, but Fearzly's going to rotate straight to the back line. He's going to be here with a teammate. Powerz stood up here with a long shot. Going to see 2 of them. Body shot in. Unsure what he can do. Oh my God, TJ stood tall, stood strong, got that second kill. Wrap shot out of Monkyz, gets the first, and now Monkyz will try to walk it to him, but he'll go down to TJ. 2-to-1 hill advantage, still in favor of eUnited.
Unfortunately, Monkyz gets his legs cut from underneath and unable to walk it out. 2 hills to 1, still in favor of eUnited, but it's early. It's still very early, not even 20 points of separation just yet, but great down and elimination onto Dezonide. That's going to force Knights to waste even more time, get Dezonide back into the fray before they can even get any sort of push going. But you can already see Fearzly's trying to take as much ground as possible. You see Raver threatening to push up so they can at least have some sort of foundation when Dezonide does come back into this fight. Uh-oh.
Powerz up top, trying to find somebody to hit a body shot on, try to make life very difficult for the Knights. A little hop. He won't drop. The shot is missed. Powerz, big miss out of him. Sees Monkyz going to the backside of B, misses the second body shot. 3 players pushing in. Body shot there on a Fearzly. He might go down inside of the B hill. Now trying to find a Raver in this situation. Raver just trying to make Powerz miss. Will get hit with another body shot. Powerz goes with a big body shot. The big Nasher shot over the top. Won't be able to get it. There's a down on Demise. TJ rolls in, tries to get that revive off. He does get it. And that down comes out, but it looks like Raver's able to rotate over. Home-to-home stretch comes through for eUnited. 1v1 at the A-Hill. Every second that's still in favor of eUnited is a better favor for them, as Dyslexic now has the retro. A ton of damage out onto Fearzly, going for multiple back A's. Almost hits a Kermit there. Won't be able to get it, though. Fearzly gets the down. All hills being decapped at this moment. It's going to be up to TJ to try to make it in less than 2 seconds. Bounces in, has to win a 1v, and does so! Wins a big 1v. B-Hill back in favor of eUnited.
That's all they need. Less than 10 seconds remain. It's going to be up to Fearzly to try to push through, but he has to go through both members of eUnited to try to make this a possibility. But regardless of this result, they win on the home hill off the back of Powerz to go ahead and solidify the round victory and tie us up right before the half. But Colin, the way this one has been going back and forth, you see another big weapon going down at all? Or do you think both of these teams, they just want to fight it out how as it is?
I think this will be fought out from here on out. I think eUnited's going to continue to rank up their secondaries, go for those incendiaries or shocks down there. He's going to go for the shock instead. And now PK will actually push back against that with their own retro lancer. So they're just going to start building up these home hills. They need to get back into this fight. They place the long shot down, and it puts them back 1 step. But The Knights love that fight. You know they love to take that fight down low. They're very confident in their team ability to take over that fight. Looks like they're going to be in here, trying to take different angles as Fearzly will get settled out. Powerz will move in. He's going to pull out the Nashor for just a moment, but then pulls Lancer to go for the quick switch. Demise gets it down into Dezonide. That might give Demise the angle he needs. As we have moved into the second half, Jacob, all knotted up at 2. It's a big round for both squads.
Big round indeed, sort of like a swing round as Powerz just trying to line up the shot, and that's much respect that the Pittsburgh Knights are giving Powerz, but now he takes that elevation. They're scrambling around. Fearzly gets taken down across the map, so the decap is going to come in. If they win this fight, this could be a triple cap domination. Powerz connecting with the headshot onto Raver. Everybody is now getting into the hill as Monkyz takes himself out of position. The neutral hill is going to come in, and I do believe so is the home hill of the Pittsburgh Knights as eUnited go back-to-back rounds.
3-2. eUnited 2 rounds away from a sweep of the Knights. I wouldn't have believed it if you'd have told me earlier in the night, as the Knights looked to continue to bolster their position in this league and in this Gears esports landscape. One more big fight really needs to be won by them in each of these rounds. It seems like early in that one, Demise wins that initial fight at B. It gives them room to kind of rotate around. It gives them an extra flank. It gives them somewhere to push. The Knights need to start winning those fights. That's the rounds that they've been able to win, where they're able to kind of take over those initials, Jacob. And now going into this next round, the Knights need to find a way to get inside of that closet first. They got to be able to put out enough damage to stop eUnited from getting in there, at least safely or cleanly, especially Powerz. Powerz has just been too strong once he got inside that long shot position.
I got a theory brewing in my head, but it's only going to matter after this round if the Pittsburgh Knights can even win it. But TJ, he gets his hands on that sniper first. Still has to think of an exit strategy, though. As you see over on your minimap there, trying to push out and try to take out that sniper, and that's what Fearzly does. He gets that elimination, trades downs with Powerz, but Dezonide is there for the revive. Raver wins a big battle. Everybody going down for eUnited. Demise has to win, but he goes down. The Pittsburgh Knights was squad-wide eUnited off the face of the map and threatened for a triple cap domination. It's all up to TJ, and he doesn't even get a chance. 3 rounds are all tied up, and this is where my theory crafting kind of comes in, as it was the Pittsburgh Knights that had to put that sniper down. eUnited are able to build up on their side. They're going to be able to kind of go ahead and add the 60 seconds onto the retro. That's exactly what they're going to do. They should, at least. My theory is correct. And what that's going to do is allow them to use their block. So it's going to force, or it would in theory had forced Pittsburgh Knights to make a play, whether you use the lock or change up the fight. But it's either near or there, as ensigns are now going to be upgraded. But with ensigns towards the low half of the map, do you think that changes? Does that give Knights an advantage with their ensigns being at the top half?
Not exactly sure. I think what we're going to see is the Knights have maybe made a late game strategy because of the fact that the ensigns have that insta-give capability there at the E-Hill. It gives them an advantage later in these rounds. You're going to see TJ actually, he has a great position here. I don't believe he knows that enough damage wasn't put out onto Fearzly. He might have been able to push out. Powerz is trying to get a 2v1 win here against Monkyz to try to stop this push toward the home hill. Monkyz wins the first fight. Monkyz gets enough of his health back, and TJ dies in the middle. This is a good collapse here by the Knights to continue to apply pressure to eUnited. D-Hill was decapped momentarily, and eUnited now has to make a full stacked-up retake as Fearzly has that retro in his hands, protecting their own home hill. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the spectrum, eUnited is going to have to push right into the teeth of Pittsburgh's defense.
I like how the Knights were able to buy time, because even though it is 3 players pushing in for eUnited, that time bot allowed Fearzly to rotate on over. But a trade is going to open this one up, but a down for an elimination is going to be a trade that favors eUnited heavily. They're able to use their numbers, push into that neutral, and take it over, but Powerz oversteps his boundaries trying to backtrack. That was Monkyz who started off that play to take control of the home hill of eUnited.
Looking to try to find another angle, home-to-home stretch in for the Pittsburgh Knights. eUnited might wait for their player to come off of respawn to try to push back into the home in a 2v1. Down from Monkyz onto TJ. I would have loved to see how that incendiary went out, but my God, that's huge for them. 2v3 at the E-Hill. Damage is going out. Dyslexic is going to get pressed by maybe 2 players. He's going to get that first back A out. Won't be able to get enough damage on that first shot, nor the second to get any downs or outs in this situation. Demise goes down, and this should be a definitive Pittsburgh Knights round. They are well within their rights to continue to just hold defense, hold sway, and go up 4-3 and extend this to a map number 4.
Gonna be a big effort from eUnited. They're realistically gonna only have this one opportunity to make it successful. Powerz goes down on the hands of Fearzly, who's running out of that Retro Lancer. But he's gonna have to switch to his pistol sooner rather than later, but he's trying to use it down to its bones. And now he's getting pressured. Flash towards the backside. He's gonna be forced out as they set their eyes onto Powerz, but Raver goes down first. Fearzly second. Dezonide forced to run and hide as Monkyz trying to make a decap play on the hill as eUnited are now swarming. They have this round in the bag if they can find the eliminations, and Dyslexic, he takes out Monkyz, not allowing him to get the decap. No points being gained for the Pittsburgh Knights as all hill is going in favor of eUnited. It is up to Raver to buy some time, and just like a round before, he doesn't even get a chance.
What a weird situation to put yourself into, where you get that next kind of defensive stop. You still got 3 players alive. You know they've got to push back into you. You kind of need one more set of slays. And eUnited just strong enough in that situation to get that next set of kills. Unbelievable composure by that entire squadron. You saw how they pushed, I mean, just deep into that E-hill, 4 deep, as a matter of fact, to get those first couple of kills. And then they rotated back. It was like they knew it. They sent, I mean, if you could pick anybody in the world to try to send back into a 1v, wouldn't you have sent Powerz? I know he got crossed down the middle, but it was funny to see that he was the first one like, all right, I guess I'll do it. Don't worry, guys.
Don't worry, I got it. These frag grenades going down the center of the map, though. Everything kind of being upgraded. So it's going to be block for block probably coming out next, because now somebody is going to be forced, if the Knights win. Never mind, Colin. Never mind. There's not enough rounds left, so it is going to be block for block next, regardless if the Knights win. Dyslexic, though, he's going to get his hands on those frag grenades, trying to create that separation, and gets the splash damage onto Raver. He's trying to make use of it, but he gets flanked as well, and he takes out Dezonide, even though Razor cleans it up. But I do think the damage has been done, because now TJ's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Now Powerz is feeling that pressure, but he connects with a headshot. Powerz was born in pressure as he gets a double kill to give eUnited the go-ahead man advantage.
He's just so different. He's just not human.
You call him Shinigami?
He is the Shinigami. I called him that in Gears 4. The man controls death. If he wants you gone, you gon' be gone. 3 players from the Knights are gonna push the F-hill, Jacob. 1 player is gonna die to Demise early in this retake. Big shot on. He has some help from TJ to get that second down and dead. Monkyz, 1 player left. He's going to get body shotted and go down. And eUnited, I think they settle this down. They're just going to sit here. They got 65 seconds to wait for the Knights to try this again and again and again. And I think they want to just settle this out. 3-0, 5-3. Deal with this.
They're just setting up the picnic right now. They put the blanket down on the nice smooth meadow. It's a great sunny day. They're bringing out the picnic basket. Now they're taking out the snacks one by one. Scoreline heating up. And the Knights are just sitting there behind the tree, watching, licking their lips, saying, man, I wish I can have a sandwich right now. What Powerz said, well, here's a fist sandwich, a knuckle sandwich, back-to-back headshots from Powerz. He is going absolutely crazy, and we're going to credit the hat trick. I don't care if Dyslexic got the down. Clean it up, Powerz. Get your hat trick, but no, it's going to be neither here nor there as eUnited looking like they're slowly but surely going to win this round.
Pushing in now, just getting a better angle on those players who are respawning, ensuring they know where they're going to rotate at. 2 players going across that back lane to try to get across home to home. The other 2 kind of waiting in the wings. 1 player goes down. It's all over, Jacob. Say goodnight.
Yeah, good night. Good night. We had our fun.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. eUnited are going to be your champions for the Split 2 playoffs. What a performance that was in a 3-0 dominating fashion over Pittsburgh Knights. Pittsburgh Knights 4 times in grand finals and 4 times finishing behind that of eUnited, whereas eUnited 4 times in grand finals and 4 times they are the champions. And that's back to back to back to back, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. eUnited is looking like the most dominant team we have in the Pro League circuit. My Lord, Colin, bring out the hat. Be proud, baby, because you know what? You've been repping them since the very start. Jacob, this was a dominant series for eUnited, man. And Pittsburgh Knights, once again, taking a loss to EU.
Powerz, best player on the planet. You know, Colin reminds me of the happy baseball dad. His little league kids just won the baseball game. They just won the playoffs, and Colin's just that proud dad with his dad hat on, the eUnited cap, just wishing his way, hey, good job. Well, guess what, boys? Not only did you guys win the lion's share of that $3,000, you probably won some ice cream from Colin.
Oh, yeah, of course. Colin's going to have the ice cream, whether it's in his own freezer or if he's taking you to Baskin Robbins. Hey, you pick your flavor, Colin. He's going to hook it up. But seriously, though, you hold the sign, Powerz is the best. Powerz really is the best. Those snipes on that last round were just stupidly good.
Not a single... Yo, I can't wait to get back to that highlight, because there ain't no way it ain't a highlight where two players chase him, and he sets up long shot in hand, hits the heady, and then baits the next one into the Nasher fight to get the kill. Ain't no way, ain't no how you gonna do anything against that man. Just absolutely different. eUnited, look, at the end of the day, they are four incredible individual players who have found a way to create enough chaos on the map. This, honestly, Jacob, you can tell me I'm stupid if this sounds stupid to you. This reminds me of the same way that Optic Dynasty won some of their first tournaments, where they just created enough chaos that teams didn't know what the hell to do. They were like, they're all so good, they're all so talented, and all of a sudden we're going to take a fight. Now there's three of them? Why are there three of them?
Hey, if you remember Gears of War 4, there was a reason why Boom Shot was put down after round number 1, regardless of who won that round. They wanted that chaos because that squad, they knew how to thrive in the chaos, just like this eUnited squad here is doing, trying to replicate that same success, and they're on that right track. Powerz has also teamed with them. He's already learned from the best, so he's just creating his own dynasty here.
You know, when we started Pro League, guys, we talked about eUnited and the addition of Dyslexic, which to me, and I understand we talked about Fearzly on Pittsburgh Knights, or excuse me, am I out of my mind? No, Fearzly on Pittsburgh Knights, and that's a great pickup. You know, it was, and it makes sense because Pittsburgh Knights first place in Pro League. You know, Pittsburgh Knights finding you know, some of the most success, obviously, with EDAYS, right? Like I told you, they've been in grand finals so many different times, but they always fell short, and that was to eUnited. But for me personally, following Dyslexic from all the way from the Challenger Series to where he entered in onto, I believe, Carnage Gaming, and then ultimately went to Fire and Ice, and just kind of his travels and where he's gone, Space Owned by eUnited. Hey, I don't think anybody's disputing that, Colin, okay? eUnited is literally that household, all right? American flag doesn't fly outside, or maybe it does, but at least right below that, you're going to have eUnited banner right below that.
And right underneath that is a Stand United flag.
I already know. I already know, trust me.
Is a flag with just Kenny's face on it.
Wow, of course you got to add Kenny's face to the flag.
Dad helped build the house, baby. He helped build the house.
But you know, this is the thing, though.
Dad over here.
Every single week, Jacob, Pittsburgh Knights played in EDAYS. They got second place. They just couldn't get over that hump. And I worry, and I really hate to say this, but I worry it's going to be the same thing for the Winter Major. Second place again. Some teams just, and I don't know if it's nerves. I really don't. I can't. Maybe, you know, this is where I would love to have Explosive on the desk, or, you know, someone who's truly, like, you know, been there, done that, played at the top level. Which, Jacob, of course, much respect to you have, but still, I have. What is it for Pittsburgh Knights that you can gather why they just can't get over that hump? They just can't get over that hump to victory. It's
exactly what you said. It's a mental thing. You know what I mean? And I used to say it a long time ago. I used to stop saying it for a while because it sounded so stupid, but it just keeps ringing back and forth in my head. I feel like the Pittsburgh Knights want it so bad, it's hurting them. They want it so bad, it's hurting them. They get desperate. They're trying too hard instead of just sticking to the fundamentals, and which got them there. You saw how dominant they looked during the regular season. Why would the major be any different? Because they're putting that extra pressure on themselves.
And let's even talk a little bit deeper than that, right? We talk about that mental pressure, Colin. Maybe it is a fact of, like, they get to grand finals and then they find themselves losing. But We also saw what eUnited did to every roster they played against tonight, all right? We saw them do it against Discipline. We saw them do it against Rebel. We've seen them do it in Pro League. Like, this is the thing.
That was quick. It was only intermission. That one was over.
Guys, I knew you guys were going to say something smart, but I'm just trying to tell the story as it is. But Colin, the point that I'm getting at is Pittsburgh Knights are a fantastic team, second place or not. They're super consistent, but eUnited refuses to have an issue with them. So how far ahead do you realistically think eUnited is against every other Pro League team that's currently playing?
So this is the big difference right here for me. And I'm going to try to give you the best insight that I can possibly give you. Powerz, having won a world championship before, having won a major before, he can kind of infect his 3 teammates with that swag. Like, he understands that it's not what got you there that changed when you got into that position to win a championship. I guarantee you, if you ask any champion, any major champion, especially like if you said you wanted to bring Explosive on, I guarantee you Explosive will say, what did you do different in the championships that kept winning grand finals? He said, same thing I did in round 1, same thing I did in round 2. He didn't change a damn thing.
Right.
The Knights, to me, look like they change when they go up against eUnited or they're in these finals positions. They don't play as aggressive. And eUnited uses that swag from that world champion. And the Pioneers have it. The Pioneers have lost their chemistry, but they still have that swag. It's so funny to see that when they can turn it on, all of a sudden they're putting teams to the bricks. They're beating them in maps. They're taking them to map 5s. They just don't have that same genetic makeup without precision. And with Brawny, we'll see how they do in this major tournament next week. Nobody on the Knights has that swag, has that I've worn the belt before. They can find it next week. And, today's Thursday, so you're looking at what? 10 days from now, to 7 to get you back here, 3 to get you through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're looking at 10 days from now. Fearzly, Dezonide, Monkyz, those guys from the Knights have everything they need to win a championship. Yep. Raver included. Sorry, I forgot you for a second, my brother. I didn't mean that. But Raver, Dezonide, Monkyz, Fearzly, those guys can win it. I just want those guys to understand that they're not just good, they're not just great, but the things that make them great can make them greater in a championship series because it doesn't change. It's just another game. It's just another round. It's just another fight. Take the same swag that you take against everybody else and apply that in that final match.
And Jacob, I know you were raising your hand, maybe something to say, maybe to capitalize off of that.
It's exactly, he kind of said it right. And that's exactly why I think it's a mental game as well, because the only team to beat United in the regular season was the Pittsburgh Knights. And that's why I say it's a huge mental thing, because as soon as eUnited is catching fire, right, that early match where it doesn't really mean too much because it is the beginning of the season, right? You go for E-Day finals. You talk about grand finals. That has quite a stakes to it. 4 different times. You talk about how many times have they been in the grand finals. They've eliminated that dynasty. They've eliminated Explosive from not one, but multiple tournaments, right? But it's when they reach the grandest stage of them all. It's when they reach that grand finals position with the lights shining like the sun's blaring 100 degrees outside. They begin to kind of falter. They begin to kind of choke up. That's why I think it's just a big, major mental flaw. And I'm hoping with Fearzly coming in, fitting into the meta with aggression, being able to alleviate some of that pressure from both Monkyz and Raver, 2 of the slain powerhouses, they're able to kind of play a little bit better. But after today, I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned. I'll be honest.
I'm concerned only with Pittsburgh Knights playing eUnited. But if PK plays anybody else, it seems as if they've got their number. Even if the series are close, Pittsburgh Knights, they just play a bit differently around everybody, like Colin said, except when they play against eUnited, which, going back to my original point, very happy about Dyslexic's route through his career in Gears 5. Again, coming from Challenger Series, I've been watching him when he went to Carnage and then Fire and Ice, then he went to Noble, obviously. And now that he's on this eUnited roster, he hasn't disappointed. And he truly is carrying his weight, and I love that about him. I really do. I've always respected his play style, and I think eUnited, we said it at the very beginning, they have a high skill ceiling, and we didn't think they've reached it. And who knows if they've even reached it as of now, but already where they're currently at, they're kind of unmatched, at least in my opinion. They are, not even just because of tonight, but just from what I've seen in the past. But regardless, though, eUnited Pittsburgh Knights, they made it to grand finals, and this was one hell of a split for split number 2. Pittsburgh Knights will walk away with $600, but eUnited with first place walks away with $2,400. That's what they get for winning split 2 playoffs. An incredible person, an incredible performance, obviously coming out from them. But boys, it seems as if our time has come to an end, but what an incredible show it was. Colin, let's go ahead and go to you, brother, for your final words. He's gonna take them off.
Right there. Let me just make that simple right there.
Is that the final word, baby?
That's his final letters.
Is that what he's got to say?
It's his final letters. E, U, and A. Hey, that's a statement in its own right. That's a statement that they made tonight on their own. Colin is just echoing that sentiment.
Jake and I, you got full screen.
I'll take the full screen wide away.
Full screen for his outro. What do you guys say, Jake?
I just love what I'm able to see. I think eUnited has turned their ship around after struggles earlier on last season, last split as well. I think Dyslexic kind of fits them. And this meta, I think they've taken over the aggression style of game similar to the Pioneers when they had precision. And I think for any team to really beat them, they're going to have to fight fire with fire. They're going to have to go blow for blow in teamwork and individual aspect, and they have to have enough in the tank to go the entirety of a distance, because 4 games, 3 games, you'd be a fool to think the series would end that quick.
Yeah, you definitely would be. Jacob, Colin, incredible day. Colin still holding up that EU hat. Look, there is no bigger fan of EU. I'm telling you right now.
I don't think so either.
Than that man in the middle. There's just simply not. I don't even think Burns is more of a fan of eUnited. Colin definitely takes the cake. He's like
if they win the major, Colin, will you get an EU tat?
I don't have
a tat. Colin would ever get a tat. I don't think
I had to try. I had to try. If there's anything that's going to get him to get a tat, it's going to be United. I had to try.
True. It would be EU or Kenny's face, like just a portrait on the back, like Steve-O, right? Just a portrait of Kenny, which I don't know if the wife would appreciate that or not, but hey, that's not my decision, nor is that my lane. Hey, it's been an incredible day. It really has for our split 2 playoffs, and we loved having you. I'll get the full screen, I guess. Hey, that's cool. I'll take it right here. Hey, chat, thank you so much for being here. As always, make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't already. This is it for Gears until next Friday when the Gears Winter Major is going to start up. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we would love to have you. To get more information, make sure you follow Gears Esports on Twitter, as they're going to be, I think they already tweeted out the polls, but either way, you're not going to miss anything yet. So go check out the polls so you can just follow your favorite team along. But regardless, though, for myself, Taylor Reflections, Noble, Colin, the Crow, Clark, Jacob, VVPR, production team, and you in chat, thank you once again for being here in the UMG Gaming Studios. Hit the follow button because we would love to have you again on our next broadcast.